way that I'm gonna be able to feel all of y'all just staring right, y'all. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to your favorite with your messy self, story time. And sometimes I gotta teach about like decorum, okay? So when it comes to situations like this and people have done what they've done, it really is not okay to be like, oh my gosh, I really liked it before though. I really preferred how you looked before. That's rude. What's done is done, and we don't say that. We don't say that to other people, okay, sweet pie? Even if it is your opinion, guess what? We are living in the era respect other people's choices. Okay, now I have done a video about my nose job, and no way, shape, or form was I ever trying to hide it. I wanted to be as transparent with you guys as I possibly could. I also felt like there is no way in the world that you guys wouldn't notice the difference. What prompted me to make this video is all of the chitter chatter that's happening with Glorilla, her nose job, and everybody just acting brand new and oh my gosh, I really liked it before. I can't believe she did that. Every single one of us is always faced with the decision because you know what? It's very accessible. It's very accessible. Girls be going to get fillers on their lunch breaks. You know what I mean? It is so common. It is so human to consider these things. But I want you to really look around. You are going to be damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because humans are fickle, okay? They don't really know what they want. You know, if it looks too good, they gonna hate on it. If it don't look good enough to their standards, they gonna hate on it and tell you to change it. If you live for their praise, you will die by their rejection, girl. You guys can check out my earlier video. That is my more emotional side. That is all of like, that is genuinely where I was coming from. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the back end of it, why, where, when, what, how, and why, definitely check that out. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a short synopsis of my villain origin story, if you will, when it came to why I wanted to change my nose. We're just gonna go through this really fast, okay? So long story short, my mom and my dad no like each other, okay? My dad, really not a good person. I don't know if it's just my family, but girl, for some reason, I have cousins upon cousins that really knew my dad very well. Apparently, my dad was so immersed, and my mom's side of the family is crazy. More so than his side of the family. Like, he had beef with his side of the family. Cousins and stuff, they have personal knowledge of my dad, which is kind of a big deal for little me who's literally only laid eyes on the man one time in my life, okay? So it can be a little weird. I had a lot to make fun of, but this was not one of them, okay? My inserts in my shoes, my hairy Chewbacca legs and arms. I had the lisp going on every single time I opened my mouth, okay? Definitely had the Coke bottle glasses. My glasses were thick. I don't know what kind of meeting my mom had at the round table before I was born or when I was born or what, but when I tell you, I saw very, very little photos of my dad. All of the photos that I saw of my dad, it was probably maybe 3 or 4. They were all like side profiles or like him eating or something kind of in front of his face. So I had an idea of what my dad looked like, but I really never saw like straight shot of him, okay? Until one day came around and my messy ass tia, girl, let me tell you something. This might be why her and my mama don't talk to this day. Little sisters will be little thithers no matter what. One day I spent the night at my tia's house. I woke up pretty early and I head on to the kitchen and my tia is at the dining room table, a bunch of albums in front of her, okay, thick. And I don't know if she was just feeling messy. She got her cafecito. So definitely shocked when my tia starts going through the pages and she lands on a family picture. Shut up. Family picture. I'm not there yet, okay? I'm not there. It was my mom, my dad, my brother, okay? JCPenney's type of picture, family portrait, and I'm like 8 years old, okay? Immediately, I was like, wow. Wow. Yes. Yes, girl, immediately. I went home, definitely, and I was like, Mom, we need to have a little talk. We need to have a little discussion. I was just like talking to her about how he looked, and my mom's sitting there, and she's like, and you saw this where? You know, at Tia's house, and like, I didn't know that you guys had like family pictures. Okay. Oh yeah, you know, like, I don't know what I did with those, but we'll talk about that later. Girl, she goes off in her room, and when I tell you, she shuts that door, World War III goes off in that room over the phone. My mother is yelling. Too late. Cat's out of the bag, okay? I know about the nose. My mom really didn't talk about it. She was like, okay, well, you saw that man. Congratulations. Wonderful. This is where the seed was planted. And I was like, okay. And I always, from that point on, I associated a lot of my features with him specifically. I really tried. I tried until my 18th birthday, girl. As you guys can probably imagine, I wasn't like completely in love with Denver the minute that I got here, okay? That I was going back to Dallas for my 18th birthday, and I was gonna have my 18th birthday at my grandma's house and have her make one of her world famous lopsided cakes for me. Sound the family alarm, and you know, Mija's here and we're gonna celebrate her birthday. Everybody come over to Nenena's house. That's my grandma. When I tell you, this is every family, you're not going to tell me no different, but my brother, this is why it was so weird when I started doing YouTube. Girl, I was really not the cool one. I was not the cool one. Why were my cousins coming to my 18th birthday party talking about, where's your brother? We've been looking for your brother. Where is he? Where's Solo? Is Solo here yet? And I'm like, hey, came from out of state. Missed you too. I don't know where he is. Girl, they just know too much. They knew you when you were nerdy. Don't take it personal. And this one tia comes in. And y'all gonna know this tia, okay? If y'all have a tia like mine. I'm in the kitchen and I'm getting my plate and I got all the fixings. And I hear my tia's voice, one of my tias, okay? And I have not seen her in a good minute. And she has not seen me in a good minute. And she rounds the corner into the kitchen. And she gives me a once over. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the older she's getting, she looks just like him. Look, no, like from here down, it's him. Oh, she looks just like her dad. Nena, mira, look. Now my cousins, and it's like a little semicircle, and they're all like, and it's very awkward because guess what? They all know the story, okay? So like some of my younger cousins that are like more my age, they're like, okay, can you stop? Like, stop staring at her. And she's just sitting there, okay, doing the older tia thing. I made up in my mind's eye, I was like, you know what? We're gonna do something about this. We're gonna do something about this because I don't like it. I'm not gonna be doing something with my life and doing something great with my life looking like you. Like, that's not gonna happen. That was my mindset, okay? Very much petty, very much with my own face, okay? From that point on, girl, I was doing research. I got my mom involved. My mom understood where I was coming from, and she was like, well, Mija, you know, I respect your decision, and I just want you to make the safest decision possible. So she started helping me do research. We started looking at doctors all over the United States, okay? And we're looking into their background, board certification, you know, who they've done work on, this, that, and the third. And I did that for a good 3-4 years. Fast forward, I'm about 23, 24 years old, and you know, I had worked really, really hard, and one of the first things that I wanted to do, girl, let's get it done. Let's do this. Fast forward, we're getting the ball rolling. This is the whole point of the video. I'm going to tell you guys what to expect if you are, you know, looking into getting a rhinoplasty. That's what it's called. The fancy way of saying nose job. What to expect and how it went for me. And so that way you know what you're stepping into, okay? So first things first. Consultation. The consultation, very simple. I gave them a call. They emailed me in response, and they had me fill out some forms, and they also had me send in some no makeup front and sides of my face so that they could see my nose and everything, and kind of just a general idea of what it is that I'm looking for. There are definitely different types of rhinoplasty. I knew that I didn't require breakage because sometimes you have to like break the bridge, you know, to make things straight or do some shaving and stuff like that. I didn't need any breakage. I didn't need any shaving or anything. I just needed a little nip and tuck for my nose, okay? A little, you know what I'm saying? I just gave him, you know, very quick, very simple. This has got to be the easiest nose job in the world. Fast forward, the day comes around, my mom comes with me, and I was so nervous. This is where like my nerves started coming into place. The ladies are super, super nice, and they take me back. They take some pictures, I guess, for the before, and they start talking to me about the processes and procedures that comes along with surgery, what to expect. There will be appointments leading up to the actual surgery, and then of course the follow-up appointments. There's going to be, you know, a few bigger appointments to take out the gauze and everything. They're telling me about all of this. So we have this whole, the consultation portion is pretty in-depth. You're getting a lot of information, and they also want to see pictures, like, you know, do you have inspo pictures? The whole vibe shifted when the surgeon came in. I'm telling you, like, the nurses were very, very talkative and very cute and very bubbly. The minute the surgeon walked in, like, no smiles. all business, which I appreciated. Very delicate woman. Okay, she's tiny, tiny, very delicate hands. I was watching everything that she was doing with her hands, even the way that she was putting on lotion, girl, very delicate. Because you want somebody to be delicate with your face. Immediately, she sits down. She's not here to play no games. She rolls up her stool and she is in my face. And she was like, okay, what is it that you're looking for? And I was like, you know, essentially, I want my nose to fit my face. I do not want like a little button nose. I have big eyes. I have a wider smile. Like, I understand my features. I don't need something super, super small. I just wanted like a little nip tuck. That's literally what I called it, okay? She was like, oh, okay, so we're just going to be taking a little bit of volume. You know, with the surgeon, that portion went by so much faster than I anticipated. She was so confident. She looked at me, she was like, oh, simple. Like, this is going to be so simple. Your recovery is going to be very simple, very easy. I have no doubt in my mind, you know, just speaking nothing but confidence. You know, I see your vision. We can definitely make that happen. Looking at my inspo pictures, great, absolutely, you know, no qualms, no concerns, no nothing. Like, I am, because, you know, they have to make sure that you are a good candidate for rhinoplasty. So she was like, you are a great candidate. I think we can definitely do this. So are you ready to move forward? And I was like, they walked me up to the front and I scheduled my surgery with the receptionist at the front desk, and they're all excited for me. The next portion is getting blood work done. So they got my date down, but they were like, this is tentative until we get your blood work back. They have to make sure that you are healthy enough to have this surgery, that it makes sense, that you're not struggling with anything, they don't find anything in your blood work. Oh gosh, girl, when I tell you, I was more concerned about the blood work than I was about the surgery itself. I know that that sounds crazy, but girl, I hate being picked up, poked at. I hate it so much. It always bruise me, and they always have to stick me more than once. This really experienced dude, he was like covered in tattoos, and he was like the most gentle stick I had ever gotten in my life. He got me within 2.5 seconds, and I was like panicking, and I was like, I'm such a hard stick, and he was like, yeah, okay, sweetie, and just did it. It was fine. Now, I want to break this down for you guys that are like looking into this when it comes to surgery. What you may not know, a lot of times when you're doing research, you're like, how much does this cost? Like, how much does it? I just need a number. And yes, you will find that, but what they don't tell you is like some of the additional expenses. Like, girl, there is a fee for the hospital room, there is a fee for the anesthesiologist, and there's also like taxes on top of that. So the base fee for the rhinoplasty itself is just the beginning. So just know that. I remember them giving me like a 6 to 9 month recovery window, and they were like, you know, it can take longer, but because your rhinoplasty isn't that invasive, you know, I assume and I presume that you're going to have a very fast recovery and you're going to love it. And all the nurses are just like hyping me up, and we're like, yes, girl. And my surgery was going to be like the next day or the day after, something like that. We go to the hospital. It's still dark outside, girl. And I remember posting on YouTube while I was sitting in the waiting room waiting for my surgery, and I had pre-filmed a bunch of videos. They took me back, they got me in my gown and my hairnet, and then they brought the anesthesiologist in, which was a really funny guy. I just said a quick prayer and I was out, girl, and I woke up. Now I will say, anytime I go under anesthesia, I am not happy. I'm very agitated, so I woke up agitated. I woke up storming like Marvin, and I also woke up as a mouth breather. I just saw white when I woke up and just mouth breathing, and I was like, and you know, you have to kind of remind yourself why you're there, and I was like, oh my god, I got my nose done, oh my god, I got my nose done, and I just immediately, I was like, there's no going back. Literally, there's no going back now. Like, whatever happened, and I'm just hoping to hear the best news ever, right? They let her know I'm awake. Surgeon comes in, and she's just very quick about it. She was like, surgery went great, it looks great, you're gonna be a bit swollen. They're like stabilizers. They're real long, cylindrical, and they're kind of like foam. They go inside of your nose, okay? Think like 2 tampons inside your nose. And then over it is like this, I don't know if was it metal? It was kind of like metal. It was hard, and then they had gauze and tape over that. So it's a lot going on. If you are in any way, shape, or form claustrophobic, I was very, very high when I got home. laid in bed, Chiquito laid with me, and I'm just all bandaged up, and yeah, I'm just hoping for the best. So fast forward, you know, when it comes to like fillers and stuff like that, I'm gonna be dropping a video soon, you know, going into that, because I haven't gotten fillers in like, I want to say almost 2 years now. Like I have fully functional eyebrows now. Fillers is almost like an instant gratification. Like you immediately see some sort of results, whether you're like super swollen, but you see it. When it comes to nose jobs, girl, you cannot see this thing for weeks. And they take it off in layers, and they have you come to your follow-up appointments, and then they'll take off like the top portion and then let you leave the tape on. And then you come to the next appointment, and then they'll take the tape off, and you finally see. And that was like the first time that I started seeing like the actual shape of my nose. I had not seen my nose in like maybe 3-4 weeks at this point, and everything was all good. I go home and I have stitches under here, and I have to keep those clean after they had taken that off. Now she was like, you know, my nurses were like giving me ointments that, and you know, how many times I should be cleaning it and all of that to make sure that it doesn't get infected. I start like really itching. I am like really trying not to itch, because like that's obviously a huge no-no. So I was getting Kleenexes and like, you know, trying to dab at my nose so I wouldn't itch it, because girl, it itched so bad. Is that mocos? Am I all like mocosa up in here? Ew, like what is that? It's not coming from here, it's coming from here. So girl, they gave me contact information for the nurses. So I called the nurse and I was like, hey, and I got her voicemail, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm just wanting to get in contact with somebody because I'm a little bit concerned. I'm itching. I obviously have swelling, but I'm itching where my stitches are. And I have like this, you know, this discharge or something coming out, and it's very, very gross, and I need some help. Really normal for your stitches to, you know, itch a little bit. Just apply that ointment in there. And as I'm on the phone with her, girl, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, there's something wrong. And when I look from underneath, why the fuck? My nose looks like this. It looks like it's being nosy in somebody else's business, girl. Like it was not. And I was like, so I'm on the phone with her, and I literally started freaking out on the phone. And I was like, no, something is wrong. Can you send me pictures so I can see what's going on? And I was like, yes. So I immediately get off the phone with her, and I start taking all the pictures. Okay, all the pictures, because you're gonna see this mess. There was like a bubble right here, girl, and it was swollen, and it looked really red, and it just did not look good. So I sent her the pictures, and sure enough, she texted me back, and she was like, yeah, you're gonna have to come in. I want to see you in person, but we're definitely going to have to give you some antibiotics. That is an infection. Girl, I had to sit like that for like another few days, and I was so worried, and they got me started on antibiotics. At this point, I am like, I just made a huge mistake. Like, I didn't even hate my nose like that. Like on a personal level, like between me and my nose, like I started freaking out. I was like, I don't know why I did this. Like, I should have just like owned my nose as my own, you know, it's on my face. Like, who cares? And I was really freaking out. My mom immediately, she's like, no, like I'm going with you to this next appointment. I will help you talk to your doctor. They're gonna fix this. They're immediately gonna fix this, because that absolutely not okay. And my mom called the office. Dr. so-and-so needs to be there at my daughter's next appointment to see this. Tell me why. I get there, the vibes are just off in the whole office, because I had seen these girls like a few times. Like we had developed, you know, a rapport, and now it's not so nicey, laughy. It is very serious. I'm serious, they're serious. They're looking at my nose, and sure enough, like they can't, you know, it's gone down a little bit with the antibiotics. You can expect some swelling, and just kind of giving me the same spiel over and over. And finally my mom was like, is the doctor coming in here? Like, with all due respect, I appreciate what you're saying, but where's the surgeon? Where's the doctor? Girl, we had been there for like 30 minutes, and typically my appointments were pretty fast, and this one was taking forever. And it was like they were dragging their feet to get the surgeon in here. I don't know why. It just started feeling real weird. Finally, Dr. So-and-so walks her ass in the room, and I'm sitting there looking all crazy and crying. You know that energy when somebody comes in and they're like, okay, let's just hurry up and get this over with type of energy? That's what she was on. Okay, and she was like, okay, let's take a look. Yes, that's an infection. Okay, so you have your antibiotics. Okay, did you guys give her a week or 2 weeks? Oh, okay, a week. Okay, so definitely finish those all the way through. But yeah, you know, within a week's time, if it doesn't get better in a week, then you come back and see me. And she's like talking very fast like that, and my mom was like, wait a minute. wait a minute. My mom has a healthcare background as well. And so my mom was like, well, where is the infection stemming from? You know, it seems like it's been caused by something. Start doing this dance. Well, you know, you can expect swelling, like the same old shit. Like, this is what you can expect. And my mom was like, I understand that. I want to know, like, was there something specifically in that area that could have caused this infection? It was like pulling teeth. Anything that I could really think of that could possibly be causing this type of reaction. I think there might be a rejection going on. And if that happens, we will have to, you know, go in and correct that. Rejection? I'm sorry. Like, I was rejected by my nose? What are you talking about? Tip of my nose was looking a little weird. Actually, it was looking like a tip. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, whether me now or me in the past. It's just, it's not the way my nose is built, okay? We went ahead, took some of that cartilage and inserted it as a tip on her nose so that she could have a tip. Her body must be rejecting that extra cartilage in there. Literally, what? I would like to reiterate, I went in there realistic, okay? Never did I ever say I want a little Tinkerbell, little button nose turned up. I don't want any of that. That's not what I said. So what are you talking about, a tip? What is that? I said a little nip and tuck. That's what I said. This doctor starts fidgeting and fumbling, and the doctor gonna say, I'm very limited in my experience with ethnic noses. And when it comes to noses like theirs, it is a bit different and it can be a different experience. So, you know, that's probably what happened. I'm not as experienced with, you know, their noses. Gesturing at me talking about their noses. Their noses. Their noses. Whose noses? African American noses. I'm not experienced working with African American noses. Have a lot more cartilage. It's a lot thicker. The skin is a lot thicker and it can be a lot more difficult to work with. And I'm going to be honest with you. I just, don't have as much experience. She saw my ethnic African American nose, and this lady unilaterally decided while doing surgery on me that she was going to take some of that cartilage, ball it up, and stick it in there to make a little tip for my nose. Did not ask for that. Don't know why. It was more aesthetically pleasing. It would look more aesthetically pleasing. And it seems like, her body is rejecting it. If that is the case, I will take care of the cost 100%. But you will have to, pay for the hospital room and the anesthesiologist again. But I will take care of the rest of the expenses to correct this. I couldn't even talk. I couldn't even talk because I felt like, why did you do that? Like, why would you do that? Tired. I'm on antibiotics. I've been on drogas, all this time. This is turning out to be a nightmare. And I don't know why. I just could not understand why this happened. The whole process started all over again. My mom had to talk to the staff members there. We had to get everything scheduled all over again. I was back on the surgery table within the next 2 weeks. I had to pay for the expenses of I keep wanting to say a hotel room, the hospital room, and the anesthesiologist. But honestly, I just wanted it to be done. I just wanted my face to be okay. And they took out that little tip and I started the recovery process all over again. It was a long road, but sure enough, that's definitely what it was. My nose is not meant to have a tip. My body said, F that. This is why consultations are a thing. You could have told me that during my consult. The multiple times that I saw you prior to my surgery, you could have been upfront with me and said exactly what you said. I am not well versed or experienced with ethnic noses. Go ahead and just do what is aesthetically pleasing to you. Mind you, I wanted to tell you guys this story because I saw a big similarity, and Glorilla, her nose is going to look completely different. It's not overnight, girl. When you get a rhinoplasty, you're not going to see your actual nose for up to a year. A year. So she's probably going to look different in a year's time, and it's not going to be as noticeable. Trust and believe me, but it's very much trust the process. Very much. You're on the internet or you're putting yourself out there. Girl, I'm just trying to share my talents. That doesn't give you the right, to just tear me down from the forehead to the pinky toe, girl. Like, just what we talking about. I did get fillers and stuff because of other people's opinions. I had a girl tell me that she couldn't focus on anything I was saying in my videos because I had creases in my forehead and I needed to get Botox. You cannot win for losing, mommy. Had, you know, people question me in a very condescending way, of course. Well, you know, what are you going to tell your kids? You didn't think about like what you're going to tell your kids. They're going to look like you. First of all, ho. Just kidding. At the time that I got my nose done, I was very, very much under the impression that I was not going to have kids. Ezra and Mila are here, and neither one of them have my nose, like my nose. Beautiful mixture of mine and their dad's. And so neither one of them ended up with my nose anyways. But even if they did, I want to take this route with my kids of just complete and utter brutal honesty when it comes to any mistakes that I've made or any crazy decisions that I've made throughout my life. The same way that I am with you guys about, like, I would much rather be embarrassed and tell you the truth and save you from making a mistake than to withhold things because of my pride. The best thing that we can do is help each other out. If you yourself have ever gotten work done and you want to sound off in those comments and let people know your experience and what you think, definitely do that. Please keep it respectful. Y'all know how I am. Definitely the next thing I want to touch on is fillers. Girl, I had this crazy experience with, I went and got fillers one time. His son was a YouTuber. So when he found out I was a YouTuber as well, his reaction it was hilarious and very much for the books. So I will be back with another video diving into, you know, fillers, lip injections, anything like that, because I have done those as well, so that you guys know and you guys know what y'all are stepping into before, you know, you put needles in your face and stuff like that, because I am here to help y'all and be the person that I wish that I would have had. Thank y'all so much for coming and chilling with me for story time today. I love y'all. I missed y'all very, very much, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Peace out, y'all. By the way, I know it sounds cliche, but you beautiful just that way. Ow. I love y'all. Bye.